All right, the hard part's over. Not really. I think the hard part's going to be getting the cold one pushed back in there. On this upper wiper, it is multi-piece, so you have a large wiper, then you have this bubble seal. The wiper is stapled to the exterior of the camper underneath this bubble seal. Now that you got everything ripped off, you're going to open the boxes of everything you've bought and hope that it fits. Yep, she's about an inch too short. Well, it is winter time, so you know what that means. You put your RV in storage, unless you're one of those fired up four-season kind of people. I'm not. I'm a fair weather camper. You put that dude in storage, you let it sit there all winter long, and the weekend before you get ready to take it out for the first time, then you start to do all the work on it that you put off all winter. That's what I've been doing on this one, but we're going to go ahead and change the slide gaskets and seals on this thing because they are cracked, they're weathered out. This is actually not my camper. This is a good family member of mine's. So Uncle Bud, if you're watching, this one's for you. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the outside wipers, the vertical ones. Then we're also going to change out the upper wiper as well. You may say to yourself, you know, I've never changed a wiper like this before, but you're in luck, I haven't either. So we're going to do this together. I've changed some wipers before, never this style. Not real sure how it comes out. Probably should have watched the YouTube channel out there. But I figured we just figure it out together. So let's get into it. Don't know what tools we need. Looks like we're going to need a flathead and some pliers at the very least. So let's see if we can tear something up. So we can see here that this is the wiper right here. This wipes all the crap off the slide. It also helps keep the weather out. You can see this one is cracked all the way up. Don't know if that's going to make it easy or hard to get it out. This is a push-in style. Looks like it's got a small crimp at the bottom, so we're going to relieve that crimp. And we're going to hope for the best and hope this dude just slips right out and the new one slips right in and we don't screw something up. Always use a good pair of electrician's pliers. See, that dude is just breaking apart. Oh, don't break on me now. Now, seeing how I'm vertically challenged, I'm gonna go get me a step stool. Not a chair, but a step stool. All right, the hard part's over. Not really. I think the hard part's going to be getting the cold one pushed back in there. So let's go take the one off on the other side. I will tell you the most complicated part about changing these seals out is about the same as any other project for you two, is getting your lighting right. It's tough. Now we're cooking with Mazola. On this upper wiper, it is multi-piece, so you have a large wiper, then you have this bubble seal. The wiper is stapled to the exterior of the camper underneath this bubble seal. So we're going to carefully take this one off. This one's in good shape. If you're going to not reuse your bubble seal, then just rip that dude off and replace it. Something I didn't mention, they're all different types of wiper seals. You need to get it specific for your camper model. Some of them push on, some stick on, some staple on. It's all different kinds of stuff. They usually have a screw and or some silicone in the top to hold them down. So now let's see if we can get this bubble seal off. It does have some good goop. Feels like it's got another screw in it. And it does. It's got one hiding in the back. I'm going to score the silicone, not cutting the gasket or the fiberglass exterior. Now that we got it started, just peel that dude back. Now we're going to pull this loose with these staples out, then you will have to restaple back into the camper. Use what's best for you. On here, pliers, crowbar, pay somebody else to do it, whatever floats your boat. I like doing it this way so you can grab on with a pair of pliers to pop them other staples out. And before you put your new seal on, make sure you get all this old silicone and sealant off of here. So I'm going to give you the pro tip secret to taking the silicone off. You ready? A lot of patience, probably a few cuss words before you get done. I'm not going to make your grandmother proud, and a lot of elbow grease. That's the secret. So good luck to you. Leave in the comments below if you've done this or after you do it, and let me know how it went for you, if you had to put any quarters in the cuss jar. If you are confident and good with a razor blade scraper, so you're not going to damage the gel coat or any of the outer coating, I recommend using this. If you are not good with a razor blade scraper, then I'm going to recommend you get some type of plastic scraper. Don't mess up the gel coat. I'm going to chance it tonight. I've used one of these. I think it's my third time, so this will be the fourth time, so we'll see if we can get it done. Uncle Bud, if you're watching and you disapprove of me using a razor blade on your camper, this would be a good time to fast forward, just move on to the next thing. Maybe when we're like buttoning it up. Let's do that. As you can see, I left a thin layer of silicone because I'm a razor blade scraping expert fool. Heavy on the fool. I will go back and take this off by hand. That's where the elbow grease comes in. So do not gouge this thing into the gel coat. Say it with me. Don't scratch the gel coat. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Camera lady, hand me my cutters down there. Man, getting in on the action shot. This is also a good time to check out the coating on top of your slide. Make sure you don't have any cracks that you need to repair in the rubber membrane. Also, be careful with your tools and laying stuff on it. If you're clumsy and think you're going to tear a hole in it, put some cardboard or put something down to protect it. I'm a professional, so we're just going to gamble it. So now we are going to clean all the dirt off of it and get any excess pookie, that is a technical term, pookie, off of it. Don't use a real strong chemical on this. Some of this white sealant on here You can scrape it off with your fingers. If there's little spots of it, if it's good and clean and still a little tacky, your new sealant will stick to that. But you can get it off. It's not crazy, but this is where the elbow grease comes in. Now for the most exciting part about replacing your gasket and or wipers and your seals on your fifth wheel or your bumper pull RV. Now that you got everything ripped off, you're gonna open the boxes of everything you've bought and hope that it fits. Because if it don't fit, then you gotta go plan C. So let's get these open and hope we do good. Yep, she's about an inch too short. Those are gonna be right, those are good. So if you see that right there, that means one size fits most. Unfortunately for us in this case, this is the wrong size, about an inch too short. So I'm gonna roll upstairs and see if I got some that will fit. We're gonna cross our fingers and our toes. I'll be back in a minute. We're gonna go ahead and install our vertical wipers. These have a little ribbed push in that will hold in this little extruded aluminum channel. Some of these do staple on, some of them slip in to a channel as well. This one pushes in, so we're gonna spray a little bit of soapy water. See if that helps. You just want to be sure not to stretch it while you're putting it in. Leave it at its natural length so it doesn't draw up. Man, that looks professional. So once we get in there, we're going to double check to make sure we didn't pull it down from the top. We're going to cut this off to the proper length, and then we're going to crimp that bottom back in so that it doesn't slip out. It doesn't take much. You don't have to get real fired up. That's tight. It's not going anywhere. So this one's done. We'll do the other side, and then we'll move on to the top. Well, after being upstairs for 4 days and been on the interweb for 4 days, we finally found the right wiper to go on the top of this trailer. If you take your trailer to somebody and drop it off to work on, be patient with them. Parts are tough to get. The wiper I ordered for this, the measurement they showed online, was about an inch short. Well, an inch short doesn't work in this scenario, so I found another supplier, was able to get it here. So 4 days later, we're gonna wrap this dude up. On this wiper seal, it's got two things that are important. This lip goes underneath the edge here, so you get the right height on it. And this also has VHB tape, where the other one had some adhesive on it. You could, in theory, just stick this VHB tape on here. If you have prepped this well, it would likely stick. We're gonna use the VHB tape, but we're also gonna put some fasteners in there. We're gonna use a little zinc coated screw. If you can see that, you just gotta make sure your head is not too big to go down into the channel where the bubble trim goes on. So we've already checked that. So the other thing we gotta do, we can get the camera right here. The cutout stops here, but we need to overlap to here. So we are gonna have to cut a little bit of this lip off right here. So we're gonna do that with a utility knife to get our full overlap. And then we're gonna screw this bad boy together. All right, so we're just gonna peel, if I can learn how to talk, a little bit of the backer off, and we'll just peel it and stick it as we go, because this stuff will stick good. Make sure you're right up at the bottom of the opening, so it's nice and even. gonna put the original screws back in it. I'm gonna try to hit the original hole. So hold my tongue just right. Got lucky on that one. This may be a little more difficult. And just be careful not to over tighten this. It's just there to kind of hold it, keep it from flapping up. Once we get all the rest of this screwed down, and then we will install the bubble after that. So let's put some screws in it. Like I said, again, if you had it cleaned really well and trusted the VHB tape, it may stay and it may not. I'm not going to chance it. I'm just going to put some screws. You can go back with staples if you'd like, but I don't like, so I'm going to go back with screws. You may have to give it a little effort. That outer gel coat is a little tough. All right, we'll get the rest of these dudes in and we'll be ready for the bubble gasket. All right, that's all the screws. We're going to put the bubble trim or the bubble gasket seal on, and then we're also going to add some silicone to the top. All right, on your bubble trim, you have a little receiver in there, then your channel there. You can clip it on, you can slide it on. This is a pretty short slide, so I'm going to get it started. We're going to work on this for a minute, then we're going to lay the camera down, and I'm going to have my camera lady, my helper, pull it the rest of the way on. That's pretty efficient. If you have a really long run, it may be better just to work it on there. You just have to be patient, make sure you're doing a little bit at a time so that you don't get it back off the channel and all fall off. So let's see if we can get this slipped on here. So if you remember that little screw I put in there earlier, we're going to take it back out. I just put it there to hold what we're working with. It actually goes through this bubbles piece. It goes through both to help hold on there so it doesn't ever slip off. That holds those two together. And this will, once you use it, it will become flat. It will look like some of these other pieces. We're also going to add one more screw. So now this little excess that's hanging over this trim, we're going to cut that to fit nice and neat down in here, and we will also use some silicone sealant to help hold that down. Just like that. Then we'll use some silicone underneath this to help hold the flap down. Then we'll silicone these corners just to help water and dirt and junk from getting in there. And then we're going to silicone across the top of this, which will also help hold this in place. So let me go grab a caulk gun and silicone. So I'm going to use a couple of different kinds of silicone. I'm going to use a clear 100% silicone. Spend your money on silicone. Now I'm going to say it's crazy how much this stuff costs, but if you're not spending probably over $8 a tube, you're probably getting the cheap stuff. Don't get the cheap stuff, get the good stuff. Anywhere where there's a connection where there's going to be black, I try to use a black silicone. We call this the black cheese whiz. It's a RTV style silicone. You can get this in other brands. Not endorsing either brand. Use whatever you like, but just make sure it's a quality product. So we're going to use this first. We're going to stick some up behind here. Pretty good glob of it. And I'm going to tuck that in just to help hold it. You could put some tape on there if you like. And if it's being ornery with you, that's just a part of it. Make sure you have plenty of rags. So I'm going to roll this under just to help see if we can get it to stay in place. Just try not to get silicone over the whole trailer. If you do, get it wiped off quick. And let that dry, and then you can pop that back out and just help it lay down better. Then we're going to squirt some in here. Just kind of fill in the end of that, help seal those two together. Never had too many paper towels. Okay, now we're gonna put the silicone across the top. This is gonna be a little tougher because we're working with the awning. The other side of this does not have an awning, so it's gonna be easier. You know, something we didn't cover, if your slide has a slide awning over it, you gotta take all that stuff off to do this. But luckily we didn't, so if you do, that's just something you're gonna have to fight with. So let's get the silicone on here. And this is where I like to use the clear. I'm gonna stop just a little short. I'll show you why. Because I am gonna spread this out with my finger just to make sure we get it on the gel coat and on this. Let's get a nice even. You don't wanna wipe it all off, you're just laying it down. And I just run it a little short so I don't have a bunch of extra silicone at the end. A little spot. I would recommend, if it's dark like this, going back in with a flashlight, checking your work. Now we just do that the rest of the way, and this thing is going to be sealed up. And now we wait. So how long do we wait on this? You know, this stuff says rain ready in 30 minutes. I'm gonna tell you, it ain't slide your slide in ready in 30 minutes. If you can wait 48 hours, that would be great for time for all this to set up. Then even if you have time, go back and double check any areas to make sure you don't have any sag or shrinkage, to make sure you don't need to add some more while the caulk is still good and clean. If it's not covered in dust and dirt or water, you can add caulk right back over it and it will adhere properly. If it is covered in dirt, if you have a sandstorm or something come in, you're going to have to clean it up. So thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments, leave those in the comments below. If you have any ideas out there, give us an idea for a new video. Let me know if you've ever had to replace your wipers on your slides in your RV, or if you've had to take it anywhere, maybe share your experience with that. With that being said, now all we like doing is the other side, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna cut loose so I can get this dude wrapped up, and hopefully I'll be done by spring.